Mohamed Bazoum, born the 1st of January 1960, is a Nigerian politician who served as the 10th president of Niger from 2021 to 2023. He assumed office in April 2021 after winning the 2020-21 presidential election in a failed coup d'état attempt. His presidency has been disputed by Abdurrahmane Tiani since the 2023 Nigerian coup d'état led by members of the Presidential Guard and the armed forces. Before becoming president, he served as the president of the Nigerian Party for Democracy and Socialism. He also served as a Minister of Foreign Affairs from 1995 to 1996 and again from 2011 to 2016. He was Minister of State at the presidency briefly in 2016 and was later appointed Minister of State for the Interior between 2016 until his election as president in 2021, when he resigned to focus on running for the 2020-21 presidential election. Bazoum won the second round of the presidential election with 55.67% of the vote against former President Mohamed Bazoum. Bazoum, a member of the Arabic minority Old Slimane people, is the first Arab president of Niger in the country's history. Mohamed Bazoum, born the 1st of January 1960, is a Nigerian politician who served as the 10th president of Niger from 2021 to 2023. He assumed office in April 2021 after winning the 2020-21 presidential election in a failed coup d'état attempt. His presidency has been disputed by Abdurrahmane Tiani since the 2023 Nigerian coup d'état led by members of the Presidential Guard and the armed forces. Before becoming president, he served as the president of the Nigerian Party for Democracy and Socialism. He also served as a Minister of Foreign Affairs from 1995 to 1996 and again from 2011 to 2016. He was Minister of State at the presidency briefly in 2016 and was later appointed Minister of State for the Interior between 2016 until his election as president in 2021, when he resigned to focus on running for the 2020-21 presidential election. Bazoum won the second round of the presidential election with 55.67% of the vote against former President Mohamed Bazoum. Bazoum, a member of the Arabic minority Old Slimane people, is the first Arab president of Niger in the country's history. Mohamed Bazoum was born in 1960 in the village of Bilabret, French Niger, in the present-day Differ region of Niger. He is a member of the Old Slimane people, an Arab tribe originally from the Fezzan region of Libya who constitute a small minority within both Niger and the larger Nigerian Arab population. He was raised in the town of Tesker, 200 kilometers west of Bilabret, in Zinder region. Bazoum attended primary school in Gur and graduated from Amadou Kourandaga High School in Zinder. He studied philosophy in the Faculty of Letters and Human Sciences Philosophy Department at Cheikh Anta Diop University in Senegal from 1979 to 1984. Bazoum then completed his master's degree in political and moral philosophy, also at the University of Dakar, including a diploma in logic and epistemology. Following the completion of his degrees, Bazoum taught at several provincial high schools for 6 years. He also joined the National Union of Teachers of Niger, a national trade union. Bazoum then joined the Executive Committee of the Trade Union of Workers of Niger, which he represented at the 1991 National Conference. Bazoum is married to Hadiza Mabrouk Bazoum. They have 4 children, including a son, Salem, and several daughters. Bazoum became a founding member of the Nigerian Party for Democracy and Socialism in 1990, along with Mahamadou Issoufou. Bazoum served as Secretary of State for Cooperation under the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation in the transitional government of Prime Minister Amadou Chefou from 1991 to 1993. He was elected to the National Assembly from the special constituency of Tesker as the PNDS candidate in a special election held on the 11th of April 1993. This followed the cancellation of the initial election in Tesker, held in February, after the January 1995 parliamentary election, which was won by an opposition coalition of the National Movement for the Development of Society and the PNDS. Bazoum became Minister of Foreign Affairs in cooperation in the government of Prime Minister Hama Amadou, named on the 25th of February 1995. He was initially reappointed to that post after Ibrahim Bar Mainasara seized power in a military coup on the 27th of January 1996, but he was replaced in the government named on the 5th of May 1996. The PNDS opposed Mainasara, and on the 26th of July 1996, Bazoum was placed under house arrest along with PNDS President Mahamadou Issoufou. A few weeks after the 1996 presidential election, He and Issoufou were released on the orders of a judge on the 12th of August 1996. Bazoum was arrested along with two other major opposition politicians, including MNSD Secretary General Hama Amadou, in early January 1998, for allegedly participating in a plot to assassinate Mainasara. He was never charged and was released a week after his arrest. At the 4th Ordinary Congress of the PNDS, held on the 5th of September 2004, Bazoum was elected as its vice president. Bazoum was again elected to the National Assembly in the December 2004 parliamentary election. And during the parliamentary term that followed, he was third vice president of the National Assembly and vice president of the PNDS parliamentary group. Bazoum was one of 14 deputies who filed a censure motion against Prime Minister Hama Amadou on the 26th of May 2007. Amadou's government was defeated in the subsequent no-confidence vote on the 31st of May, and Bazoum praised the maturity of the political class of Niger that has just put an end to the mandate of the team which specialized in the predation of public funds. After urging the people to boycott the August 2009 constitutional referendum, Bazoum was briefly detained and questioned for 2 hours on the 14th of July 2009. Bazoum was re-elected as PNDS vice president at the party's 5th Ordinary Congress, held on the 18th of July 2009. Following the success of the referendum, he characterized it as a coup d'etat and said that the October 2009 parliamentary election was an electoral farce intended merely to add a democratic polish. President Mamadou Tanja was ousted by a military coup on the 18th of February 2010. Bazoum said on the occasion that this is exactly what we were afraid of, a military resolution. Tanja could have avoided this. As one of the leading members of the Coordination of Democratic Forces for the Republic, an opposition coalition, he said on the 23rd of February that the CFDR wanted Tanja to be put on trial for high treason because he had abrogated the 1999 Constitution in his efforts to remain in power. According to Bazoum, such a trial was necessary to deter future leaders from pursuing a similar course. He said that the junta should hold Tanja until democratic institutions were in place, and then Tanja should be tried, although he also said that he felt the death penalty would be unnecessary. After Mahamadou Issoufou won the January-March 2011 presidential election, he stepped down as PNDS president in March 2011, prior to his swearing in accordance with the requirement that the head of state not participate in partisan politics. Bazoum took over as acting president of the PNDS. Issoufou took office as president of Niger on the 7th of April 2011, and Bazoum was appointed to the government as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Cooperation, African Integration, and Nigerians Abroad on the 21st of April 2011. Bazoum was moved to the post of Minister of State at the presidency on the 25th of February 2015. The move was viewed as allowing Bazoum to focus on leading the PNDS in anticipation of Issoufou's bid for re-election in 2016. He was elected to the National Assembly in the February 2016 parliamentary election. After Issoufou was sworn in for a second term, Bazoum was appointed as Minister of State for the Interior, Public Security, Decentralization, and Customary and Religious Affairs on the 11th of April 2016. He took office on the 13th of April, succeeding Hassami Massaoudou. As a high-ranking member of the Nigerian government, Bazoum was named the successor to Issoufou as the presidential candidate for the PNDS in the 2020-21 Nigerian general election. Bazoum's presidential campaign focused on ideas such as resolving demographic problems within Niger by limiting family size and increasing literacy, and gender equality through more education for girls. Bazoum has also promised to target the ISIS insurgency in Niger, assisting the neighboring country of Mali in the process, reinforce Nigerian defense and security, and tackle corruption in the country. Bazoum did not win the first round of the election, held on the 27th of December 2020, obtaining only 39.30% of the vote. However, he won the runoff election in February 2021 with 55.67% of the vote and was sworn in as president on the 2nd of April, his victory being confirmed on the 21st of March. In December 2022, Bazoum was appointed current president of the West African Economic and Monetary Union during the 23rd Ordinary Summit of Heads of State and Government of the organization in Abidjan. On the 26th of July 2023, soldiers of the Presidential Guard commanded by General Abdurrahmane Tchiani blockaded the presidential palace to depose Bazoum. The coup was condemned by the African Union and Economic Community of West African States. ECOWAS told the plotters to free Bazoum immediately. Bazoum was later deposed at the end of the day, with Colonel Major Amadou Abdrahmane going on state television to claim that the president had been removed from power. and was being replaced by a military junta calling itself the National Council for the Safeguard of the Homeland, whose leadership was claimed by General Tchiani on the 28th of July. Sources close to Bazoum said that he had decided on Tchiani's dismissal at a cabinet meeting prior to the coup on the 24th of July as their relations had reportedly become strained. In his address to the nation, Tchiani accused Bazoum of trying to cover up for the country's political, socioeconomic, and security problems. On the 27th of July, Bazoum tweeted that Nigerians who love democracy would see to it that hard-won gains will be safeguarded, indicating his refusal to step down from office. His foreign minister Hassami Massaoudu insisted that the country's legal and legitimate power remained with the president and reiterated that Bazoum was in good condition. He also declared himself acting head of state and called on all Democrats to make this adventure fail. Bazoum is believed to be currently detained at the presidential palace along with his wife Hadiza and son Salem. His daughters were in Paris at the time of the coup. Despite being detained, Bazoum has not formally resigned as of the 2nd of August and has been able to get in contact with world leaders and officials such as French President Emmanuel Macron, Secretary General Antonio Guterres, Commissioner Moussa Faki, and U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. On the 31st of July, the office of Chadian President Mahamat Deby released pictures of him meeting with a smiling Bazoum, marking the latter's first appearance since the coup. Thank you for watching.